Hello, I am back. Sorry, on the last video I kind of cut it short. It was time for dinner, so I had to leave. Um, so yeah, this is the last video. I'm leaving soon. Kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about is some of the things that I'm glad I did, and I want to say regret not doing. Um, but yeah, let's go with that. Um, One of the biggest things that was difficult for me was kind of finding people. Usually, I can pretty decent at making friends. At least I think so. Um, but one of the things that I felt here is that I wasn't really able to um, really get a close group of friends. There were some people from my program from Centre Oregon that I hung out with the first few weeks, first month or so, but never really else really went from there. We just went to the bars a couple of times, some of people's birthdays, things like that. That was about it. And then had a period where I didn't really have anyone to go out with. And one of the things I should have done, which I ended up finding out later, because I did this, but should have just went out by myself to places and went exploring. Um, I kind of regret not exploring more earlier on. But yeah, and I kind of one of the things I've seen from my experiences, and I don't know, this is true in all lives, but I don't want to say when you don't care, things tend to work out better. But when you aren't caring too much, when you're kind of more nonchalant and more relaxed about situations, things tend to um, proceed and progress in a positive light in life. Um, and so I feel that those things are really important. One of the things, if you're about to go and study abroad, um, just kind of once a week, or even if you're study abroad or not study abroad, but once a week, do something completely new and that you've never done before. Go explore a different street. Take a different way home. Um, the only thing with this is obviously don't, if it's dark out and you're in an unknown area, don't take an unknown way home because it could be really dangerous. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying um, just do something different every day or do something different once a week um, and make you feel better, which it has for me. One of the things, what else? Towards the end, I have found a decent group of friends. One of the things that's been kind of odd. I'm sure a guy coming to France might more pertain to you than the girls, but even girls too, maybe. But in all my classes, it's been in my group of classes, the SB12, SB12 group or level. There are 3 guys in our class, including myself, which is fine. It's a lot of girls. It's good. Yeah. Thumbs up. But you don't have, like, I'm going to use the term bro group. Your bros to go out and hang out with. You don't have that group, or it's more difficult to find that group, especially if you're just in a program like I was in, which was just semi-intensive with all international students, as opposed to French students also. Simply, the French program has more girls, so that being sexist, just stating a fact. Um, so yeah, it was kind of something that was kind of hard for me. And when I'd feel down, I'd just sit in my room and watch Netflix and YouTube videos, which I do not recommend. Horrible idea. Do not do that. Although if you do decide to use Netflix or keep your Netflix while you're here, there's a company or there's an app on Google Chrome called Ola Blocker. think is what it's called. Hola, like hello in Spanish, and then blocker, like block. Um, yeah, so that's something that makes things a little bit easier. Um, if you want to watch other movies, what else? Um, I not really sure what to say next year about my experiences, but it's been kind of it's at a bittersweet point now because I've finally kind of made a group of friends and people that we all go out to the same places, to the same bars, things like that. Um, most of them are older, which happens to be with all my friends, but once you're about 20, 21, or 21 or so, and you've lived on your own for a while, ages are more similar. Maturity level is more similar, but what else? So I'm gonna be packing my stuff up. Um, one of the things to let people know if they're going back to the U.S. I've heard different things on the wine. One of the things I saw on, I just did some research, is the government really doesn't have any laws against it. The U.S. government doesn't have any laws about bringing alcohol into the country. Um, each airline may have different rules. One of them I read was nothing over 70% alcohol. So as long as it's under 140 proof, you're fine. So no 151. You buy that in the U.S. anyways. So what else? So with wine, I've been told from a lot of people that you can bring 3 bottles back in your checked luggage, which is fine. Obviously, pack it well, but you do have to claim it. One of the things I read from the government website was 1 liter per person. Typically, a wine bottle is 0.75 liters or 750 milliliters. So you can bring 1 bottle back, but that's the amount that is duty free, meaning you don't have to pay taxes on it. Anything more than that, you have to pay taxes on, which you just claim it at the airport. That's easy. Just don't lie because it's considered smuggling. You can be in trouble for that. Yep. What else? Yeah, so the other thing too is apparently in France there's in the mailing you can get a box. You have to provide your own box. You can put books and whatnot in there, and it can be up to 10 kilos. Or 10 kilos or 5. I think it's maybe it's 5 kilos. It can be up to 5 kilos, kilograms in weight. And you can mail that back, and there's a special rate for that. So if you purchase books while you're over here, or you brought books over for studying, or just for reading for pleasure, you can send them back for less expensive. I plan on going tomorrow to do all that stuff. Also, if you're here for a long time, you may be opening a bank account. One thing I've noticed, at least here in Lyon, I've been told and kind of realized also, is that the banks don't have actual cash, like physical money, at the bank, and you can only get it from the ATMs. So that's one thing that's kind of odd. At least I find, because in the U.S. it's not the case. It's a new thing though. But yeah, so when you're closing your bank account, which I plan to do tomorrow, also you have to turn in all of your checks and your debit card, which I don't know what I did with my checks, which is probably important. So yeah, you have to turn in your checks. Little checkbook right in this. Checkbook like this. Let's see the numbers. Yeah, checkbook like this, and your credit card or your debit card that they give you. It all depends on what bank you have too. So if you're only here for like 6 months, typically you won't open a bank unless your school makes you. If you're here for a long time, it's usually better to do that. I will say the process for me, the process wasn't too difficult because my school helped out a lot. But from the other people I've talked to, it's been kind of a pain to open up a bank account. Yeah, so there I got myself a little journal for when I go back to the States. Once again, it says 2015 right here. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Yep, right there, 2015. Got all this pages in here, the times, so I make sure I don't forget about any homeworks, which I definitely did a lot this semester. But most of the classes, homework isn't, at least in mine, because it was just language. The homework wasn't taken for a grade. It was just aid. Obviously, highly recommended and obligatory. Necessary to do. What else? I said a lot. Look at the things I have. Yep. So tomorrow will be my last day teaching at the high school, which is going to be kind of good and bad. It just kind of tells me even more that I'm almost going to be home. But also it's kind of odd to not be teaching them anymore because I really like teaching there. So it looks like my video is kind of getting full. I'm going to pause this and add one more. Okay, bye-bye.